Hey there, Jody here. In today's video, I'm going to be giving a spoiler review on the latest book that I've read. So in my spoiler reviews, I go over certain things such as what the book is about, if I've read from this author before or not, my thoughts on the book, my star rating, as well as is this a book I would recommend reading. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's spoiler-free book review, and that, my friends, would be for the book Bear by Julia Phillips. So Bear is about two sisters named Elena and Sam. All of their lives, Elena and Sam have had this dream to leave their hometown and start their lives over somewhere new. But when their mother gets ill, Elena and Sam put their dream on hold to care for her. Between working to make ends meet, doctor's appointments, and caring for their mother, a whole decade goes by, and along with it their dream. Elena and Sam's lives aren't ones to see much fun or excitement, but that all changes one day when a bear randomly shows up at their home. Elena and Sam have always been on the same page about everything, but when it comes to this bear, the two sisters have a difference of opinion. Elena is overjoyed by the bear's presence, while Sam is not. The two sisters find themselves on opposite sides on how to go about dealing with this bear. Not only does their opposition to one another put a strain on their relationship, but it also puts at risk their dream of one day getting out of their hometown. This is the first book by Julia Phillips that I've read, and I'm definitely interested in reading more from this author. The next book by this author that I would read would be their first book called Disappearing Earth. So now for my thoughts on the book. To start off, I really like this book, and now I'll go on and talk about what I liked about the book. So one of the things I really liked was the story. The story in this book is one that will forever stay with you after reading it. The story is an extremely sad and heavy one that will break your heart into a million pieces. At its core, Bear is about family and life. Elena and Sam have only ever really had each other to count on and to rely on, especially after their mother gets sick, as they don't have any extended family or friends. Elena and Sam live their lives like it's the two of them against the world, but as long as they have each other, they'll be okay. The story showed how life is made up of these wonderful and magical moments forever frozen in time, but how it also showed how life is difficult and hard, and how over time it can wear you out and tear you down, especially when you have no one but yourself to rely on. I also thought the way the story talked about time and how it can creep up on you without you even knowing it was heartbreakingly well done. The story is told from Sam's perspective, and throughout the book, Sam talks about moments from her life. She talks about these memories she has from when she was younger with her mother, and how her mother was so healthy and so alive and full of life. And now Sam sees her mother older and looking so frail from her sickness, and she finds it hard to grasp that that could be the same person. I found moments like that in the book to be so relatable, because when you're young, you think life will always be exactly that way forever. Then one day, when you're older, you look around you and you see how everything and everyone around you has changed. And it's a part of life that will never not be difficult to get used to. The way the story dealt with the passing of time was so incredibly well done, because it showed how when you're living your life, in the moment you don't realize how every moment is fleeting until one day you just sadly kind of do. So the last thing that I liked was how the story talked about how not all of us can and will live exciting lives, and how you have to find those moments of joy and happiness wherever you can. For Elena, seeing the bear gave her life meaning and gave her something to look forward to. Seeing the bear and being within its presence made Elena feel truly alive and feel a kind of joy and happiness that she didn't even know was ever even possible for her to feel. I was definitely able to relate to Elena in those moments in the book. For Elena, seeing the bear just made her day. For me, it's seeing these cats that wander and roam around where I live. Anytime I see any of these cats, it brings a smile to my face. I say hello to them from a distance and ask them how they are doing. I even gave them all names, and even though it looks like they could care less every time they see me, it still brings me a moment of happiness whenever I see them anyways. So those are my thoughts on the book. Now for my star rating. This book is one that I just will never forget reading. The story has a grip on my heart and being. I don't think I've ever been able to relate to a book more than this one, which, makes me sad, because this is a very depressing book. With all that being said, my star rating for Bear was that this was more than a 5-star book for me. It was 6 stars. So now for Is This a Book I Would Recommend Reading? I would say if you're looking for a literary fiction book that has an amazing atmospheric feel to it, with an unforgettable story that will break your heart into a million pieces, I would highly recommend Bear by Julia Phillips to read. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope I helped you discover a new book today along the way as well. And until next time, bye.